Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Oh, welcome into Unfiltered, everybody. If you're watching on the TV, you see the big smile on my face because Ricky Bo in studio. I haven't seen you all week, man. We've been seeing each other digitally. I get to see you in living color right here. Ricky Battalico.
How happy are you?
Extremely happy.
Who?
I would have been happier if the Spurs didn't blow Game 4 last night. Look, we're going to get to the Phillies and the Eagles, but I want to start the show talking about the biggest sports story in the world right now. What happened at Madison Square Garden last night? Game 4, NBA Finals. The Spurs are dominating. They're up 29 points at one time. They're up 20 points in the fourth quarter. If you're looking at like the ESPN analytics, like chance to win, at one point the Knicks had a 0.4% chance to win that game. And somehow, some way, they come back to win it. And here's what bothers me the most. I can't stand Knicks fans. I've made that very clear. I think Knicks fans are the lowest of the low. That's why I can't root for the Knicks. But, man, I love that Knicks team.
Yep.
Like the players and the way they play, and it was such an exciting thing to watch last night, and the building was electric. And then, just when you're thinking, oh, man, what a win for the Knicks, you see the Knicks fans doing what Knicks fans do, throwing stuff at Wembanyama and following the Spurs bus to the hotel. The lowest of the low, but let's not get caught up with the fans. What a game. Did you watch? I know you had the Phillies do these last night.
I knew going on post-game last night that they were down, I believe it was like 20-something when we went on post-game. And we were getting updates, obviously, in our ear, and I'm kind of watching it online. But, I mean, we got out of there, and the whole newsroom was, like, at the edge of their seats watching that game. And I got to tell you, you take the teams out of it, who's in there, that is an unbelievable comeback. It really is. I mean, 29 points down. How do you take it? Do you take it that the Knicks just never quit? Let's face it, there's two storylines here. If you're a Knicks fan, this team never quits. We're never going to say die. We're going to push forward the whole game. You know what? Who cares if we're down 22? My butt. If you were up 22 and that happened to you, that place would have been ballistic. They would have been going absolutely ballistic. Now on the other side, why come out and just keep bombing threes?
Terrible.
You're up all those points going into the second half, and you just consider yourself, all right, whatever. We're just going to keep playing the same game we did. No. You know what you do? You milk clock. Every possession, you milk clock. Well, you don't shoot it at 20 seconds or 15 seconds. You bring it down to 10 and under every single time down the court. You know why? Because later in the game, you take away possessions. Think about this for a second. The Knicks went small and fast. Why? At one point. Obviously, Towns had some foul trouble, but they go small and fast. Why? Because they needed possessions. They were telling you they need possessions. How are they going to get possessions? You got to try for steals. You got to put your faster guys on there. You got to get the ball down the court quicker. And you know what? It worked for them. But shot selection by the Spurs, absolutely pitiful. Pitiful.
Spot on. Like, you're right. You look at it from the Knicks' perspective. Oh, what an incredible comeback. But when you look at it from the Spurs' perspective, maybe the most epic collapse I have ever seen in a big moment. And I thought Charles Barkley said it best after the game. I don't know if you heard this clip.
I was listening in.
The dumbest thing he's ever seen from a team. Listen to Charles Barkley.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow.
We saw they had a 25-point lead, took eight straight threes. Like, they thought to get, like, that was some of the most mismanaged, stupid basketball. Hey, when you blow a 29-point lead, the other team has to help you. The San Antonio Spurs helped the New York Knicks win this game by doing some of the stupid-ass stuff I've ever seen on a basketball court.
The dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
How much do you love Charles Barkley? He just says it like it is. I absolutely admire what he does.
Well, yeah, sometimes maybe he says it like it is too much. His comments about Cardi B might have got him in trouble. I don't know if you saw that.
It wasn't B.
Yeah, it was not Cardi B the other night.
How about OG?
OG Anunoby's incredible. But
he's the MVP right now.
He probably would be if they win it. But it ain't over. It ain't over. Still 3-1. But look, a lot of things had to go wrong for the Spurs for them to blow this lead. But for me, De'Aaron Fox, you get the ball at the end of the game. You're up 1. There's about 5 seconds left on the clock. Why are you going up for a layup in that situation? You know what I'm talking about? When there was the Knicks had the possession, and then the ball's going down to the other side, and there's a foot race between De'Aaron Fox and OG Anunoby. Yep. Fox gets to it. You don't go up for a layup there.
No, you take it out.
Wait till you get fouled. Like, run as much clock as you can. Terrible, terrible basketball. Terrible situational awareness.
And that was Hall, right? And he's a veteran.
No, De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. I mean,
and he is a veteran.
I was thinking De'Aaron Hall for some reason.
No, Fox.
Yeah,
and
Fox
he is a
veteran. He's been around a while. He should know better.
It was embarrassing.
Look, if that happened to Harper or Castle, I could understand it because they're a little panicked. They're young. First couple of years on the court. Yeah, I could understand it. But you're talking about a guy in Fox that's been around a while. He should know better. He's a veteran. He's supposed to be a team leader. It's not the way you lead. Not the way you lead.
No, and you're right. You just mentioned Castle, young guy. He makes his free throws down the stretch. Victor Wembanyama, I mean, you really can't describe it anything other than a choke job. Like, he gets to the line. He misses both foul shots that could have sealed that game. He misses them both.
And the irony, you look at game 3, they were 10 for 10 down the stretch in foul shots, the Spurs were. Isn't that odd?
Yep.
Like, you needed those foul shots in game 3. You didn't have a problem putting those in. You get into this game 4 where you know what was happening. It was quicksand, and they couldn't get out of the quicksand. And the only way to get out of it was to make one big shot or 2 big free throws. I mean, they call them free throws for a reason. These guys are in the NBA, isn't it mind-boggling that they don't make those shots?
Yeah, and it's amazing what happens when
I had a high school head basketball coach who used to literally get pissed at us if we missed one foul shot. You know why? Because he would go onto the foul line, put on a blindfold, and sink like 10 in a row.
Well, yeah, and it's amazing when the stakes rise, how much sometimes people can't come through.
They get a little tight.
Now, I have been very critical of Knicks fans, and I still think a lot of Knicks fans, not all, a lot of Knicks fans are trash the way that the things they've done outside the arena. I am going to give Knicks fans credit, though, here. Inside that building last night, even down 29 points, the energy never left the building.
The defense chant started almost immediately.
Yeah, the fans stayed engaged, and that certainly helped get the team over the top.
I mean, I think a lot of people get annoyed because it's a lot of celebrities in the first, 6 rows, courtside. I get it.
Taylor Swift in the building last night.
You got to love that.
Did you know that? Because they really didn't show her on TV that often.
I didn't see her only about 12,000 times. No, you know what? It's just one of those things where did you see actually the set list for all of them?
What do you mean?
I saw all of them that were on there.
No, what do you mean the set list?
I don't know where I got it. I saw the whole
every
list.
single celeb that was there.
I saw the whole list.
There's a lot of them there.
And it said where they were sitting, everything.
Yeah. Larry David in the house as always.
Larry David was in the house. He makes me nervous.
Who does, Larry David?
Yes.
Wait, why is he making you nervous?
You've seen Curb, right?
Yeah.
It makes me nervous watching the show because every single episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, the whole plot could have been fixed right at the beginning of the show by a simple "I'm sorry," a simple "excuse me."
But that's the point.
I know, but
that's who he is.
To me, it's like gut-wrenching. Every time I watch this guy, I want to shake.
Now, yesterday on Give Me More, Silvana was talking about how Ben Stiller, the reason he has his phone all the time is because he's filming a documentary.
Boy, is he getting a hell of a documentary right now.
He already posted the clip that he took with his phone from his position on the court of the OG Anunoby tip-in. It's unbelievable. It's going to win an Oscar.
By the way, if you watch that play, he came from top of the key.
He was the one who inbounded the ball.
Nobody touched him. He went all the way in. And I'm going to put it, that was a great tip. That wasn't like automatic tip and it's going in. He was away from the basket. That was a good couple feet off the basket.
They're saying,
just kind of tipped it back.
They're saying in New York, is that the greatest play in New York sports history? Like, that's the debates they're having in New York today with what OG Anunoby did at the end of that game.
Do you blame him? Let's put ourselves in a different set of shoes. That was the Sixers.
Oh man,
and that was like Kelly Oubre coming out of nowhere to tip in a ball. You don't think we would think that was the greatest play ever?
We would be talking today about where's the statue going.
Come on, we still talk about the Bryce Harper homer.
But I'm glad you brought
them
up
at the bank.
I'm glad you brought up the Sixers because I know Sixers fans aren't feeling great today. Yeah, I know they're not feeling great today. None of us are watching the Knicks doing what they're doing, and I don't mean to make you feel worse, but I got to point this out because this is all I was thinking about last night. So you're watching OG Anunoby, who arguably could be the MVP of this finals if the Knicks finish the job. And I couldn't help but think about our old friend Daryl Morey, who used to call the shots as the Pobo of your 76ers. And you remember when James Harden said last year or 2 years ago, I'm forgetting what it was now, that Daryl Morey is a liar and I'll never play for a team that Daryl Morey is involved with, right?
Yep.
Well, I don't think Daryl Morey was necessarily lying to us a couple years ago. But this is what really bothers me when people play fast and loose with their statements. OG Anunoby gets traded in December of 2023 to the New York Knicks. How do you think that's working out for him? A couple of weeks later, Daryl Morey trades for Buddy Hield at the trade deadline.
How's that working out?
And then he has his press conference. I went back and pulled the audio. This is what Daryl Morey tried to sell to the Sixers fan base in February of 2024. Listen to this.
Our focus was really what our focus always is, which is what gives us the best chance to win the championship. We're focused on upgrading this year. We feel like we got the best player at the trade deadline that was traded. And we felt like he gave us exactly what we were looking for, which is, he's one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history.
You don't know basketball.
We got the best player that was traded at the trade deadline. And you listen to that and you're like, wow, man, the Sixers, they went all in. Daryl Morey back in 24, they went and they got the best player at the trade deadline. That's only because OG Anunoby got traded to the Knicks a couple of weeks earlier. Daryl Morey trying to pull the wool over all of our eyes. Well, they tried. They got the best player. Why weren't they in on OG Anunoby when the Knicks got him?
We won't see him anymore.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, isn't that the way we have to look at this? Why? I understand what you're doing. Why? Doesn't that seem like a lot of questions with the Sixers for the last 25 years? Why? And did you think it was going to change? Did you think something special was going to happen? Did you think trading away Jared McCain was a good idea?
Daryl Morey's gone.
I guess we shouldn't live right there.
Yeah, I guess we shouldn't live in the past.
No, I want to piss you off.
Morey's not here. A.J. Brown's not here. It's time for all of us to move on. But it's hard when you're watching this Knicks team, and I was having this conversation with Colin Newby, does a great job on our website. Check out all his articles at 975thefanatic.com or the Fanatic app. And we were talking about how, as a Sixers fan, you draft Joel Embiid 13 years ago. He's played for over a decade after he had the foot injury. And think about all the other teams in the NBA who have gone through massive changes and massive rebuilds and had success. Spurs being one of them. The Knicks being another one. I mean, the Knicks completely revamped their entire roster and their entire team thanks to local legend Leon Rose, by the way. Grew up in Cherry Hill. Don't know if you knew that. Leon Rose calling the shots for the Knicks. But think about what they've done. And we're sitting here as a 76ers fan saying, well, 2001 was fun. 1983 was great. All these other teams have completely revamped their team, and now we're sitting here saying Joel still got 3 years left on his deal. Paul George has 2 years left on his deal. What are we going to do? It's
you know, you're saying that, and I start thinking it's almost like the fan base, with the exception of the Eagles, is happy with the playoffs.
I don't think Phillies fans are.
Really?
Just happy with getting to the playoffs? Not anymore.
Everybody loves the Phillies. They haven't won a World Series since 2008. Well, 18 years we're talking.
A lot sooner than 83.
But do you understand what I'm saying? I think we look at 2008 because we remember it. Yeah, I think we look at that it was just around the corner.
But do you really think Phillies fans right now would be happy with anything but a World Series? No way.
Sixers fans are happy with playoffs. Flyers fans are certainly finally happy with playoffs.
Flyers fans are in a different category, even though they haven't won a cup since 74. We're in a different category, 75.
They can't be in a different category. They're the professional sports teams of Philadelphia.
Yeah, but they're in a different category.
And even the Union went to the finals that year and completely gave that one away.
But I don't think any Phillies fan is happy with anything less than a World Series at this point. after getting there in 22,
well, they were
taking
just
a step
happy
back.
to be there in 22 because of your boy Klentak and Kapler. And
love it.
As you move forward, I think that year, the miracle year of 2022, I think made them feel a lot better about watching baseball. You know what? Let's face facts. When during that, and I'm just bringing it up, not that he's a terrible guy, Matt Klentak era.
You hate him. Just say it. You hate him.
I don't. I don't like that he picked Gabe Kapler as a manager.
Yeah, that's where you really draw the line.
Let's take a good look at Citizens Bank Park during those years. Was it packed?
No. Not like it is now.
Even when they first got Bryce Harper, was it packed? No. Why? Because people knew. They knew that situation was not going anywhere until everything changed. And then all of a sudden, 2022, everything starts to change. Now you have a roster. Now you have different guys in the upper echelon of the organization. Things change. Dabrowski comes in. Things have changed. And now it's almost like perennial playoffs for the Phillies. When are they getting over the hump is just now the extra answer. You look at the Eagles getting to the playoffs. And by the way, this is from Howie Roseman. Not just happy to get to the playoffs. The Sixers, what is the answer? I understand the Flyers. You're right. Getting to the playoffs was step one. But they also know there's more steps to come. Now, with the Sixers, what is it? What is it? Gone through the garbage of the process. You've gotten to the point where Joel Embiid was your superstar and an MVP of the league. Now you're at a crossroads again. Without what? Without even getting out of round two.
Yeah, it's purgatory. Is the
I
way
don't
it's
know
been
what
described.
made me go on this rant, but it had to be done.
I'm glad you did, because as we sit here right now, I don't think anyone would tell you they feel great about the 76ers. A lot of people feel good about the Flyers.
They probably feel a lot worse after last night.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I mean, I know I do. But let's talk about the two other teams you mentioned, the Phillies and the Eagles, because this kind of leads into the big question today. Eagles just finished mandatory minicamp. Phillies win the series up in Toronto. They got an off day today. If we're just looking at those two teams, just the Phillies and the Eagles, who do you feel better about right now? If you had to answer that question right now, who do you feel better about, the Phillies or the Eagles? We'll have that conversation coming up next. A lot to get to today. We got Jim Salisbury from NBC Sports Philadelphia joining us at 3 o'clock. We'll bring you any updates when we get them on Adolis Garcia. Man, did we jinx him yesterday or what? We finally brought him back. We said we are the official fan club of Adolis Garcia. We started calling him Adolis the Swollus again, and now boom.
I'm willing to say, we'll talk about this a little bit. I don't know if that did not look good.
No, it did not. So who do you feel better about, Phillies or Eagles? Hit us up on the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. Get your voice messages in for We Hear You. We'll debate this on the other side. Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
More cowbell. All right, so as we're sitting here right now, it's June 11th. Eagles just finished mandatory minicamp. Your Fighting Phils got an off day before they head to Milwaukee. If we were to ask the question to the fan base, who do you feel better about right now, as you sit here today? Is it the Philadelphia Eagles or is it the Phillies? Now, what's interesting, a lot of unknowns with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? New offensive coordinator, new offensive line coach, new run game coordinator. You got rid of A.J. Brown. You don't know if the offensive line's going to be healthy. Who's going to play safety for this team? What's the defense going to look like without Nakobe Dean? Like, there's a lot of questions as it pertains to the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Phillies are red hot. Under Don Mattingly, they're 28-12. We had Jason Stark tell us yesterday if that was at the start of a season, it would be one of the best starts in Phillies history, top 3. But yet, as I sit here right now, I feel better about the Eagles. I feel better about the Eagles. And you know why I feel better about the Eagles? Because we have seen a recipe like this work in the past, where you have good coordinators on both sides of the ball, and everything we're hearing about Sean Mannion, evil genius he was called by Jordan Mailata. You hear the way Hurts talks about him. You hear the way Lane Johnson talked about him, Saquon Barkley, the list goes on and on. If they get competent coordinators, Fangio is, and if Sean Mannion is everything as advertised, this team, that formula has already worked. They already won a Super Bowl with that formula. They went to a Super Bowl in 22 with that formula.
All right, see, but you're doing something wrong here. You're formulating the team from 2-3 years ago because of a formula that you have in your head. We haven't seen this team play yet.
We have not.
This particular team, we have not seen play. Do we know all the culprits? Yeah, pretty much. We know pretty much everybody on the Eagles and what they're capable of doing on an everyday basis. Now, let's just throw this out there that the offensive line isn't what we thought they were. Then what?
They're in deep trouble. Deep trouble.
Right. So, but we haven't seen them on the field yet.
We have not. So are you telling me your answer and you feel better about the Phillies?
I do feel pretty confident about the Phillies.
Because I could poke holes in that team.
You're damn right you could. You could poke holes in anything right now, but I have a hard time looking at a team that is just starting mini camps and haven't even gone to training camp yet and say that team I'm more confident in. I mean, it's a blind eye. You're literally going in with a blind eye. You can't do the blind eye thing.
Well, here's why I think I can. I feel better about the unknown of the Eagles because I have a known with the Phillies. We've seen this team. We know what they look like. They lack a right-handed power bat. We thought maybe Adolis was going to turn a corner. Now he's battling whatever he's going to battle. We're waiting for an update on that. Outside of Wheeler and Sanchez at the top of your starting rotation, I don't feel confident in the other three guys. Yeah, Luzardo pitched well last night, but who knows how he's going to pitch in his next outing? Who knows what you're getting from Nola? Who knows what you're getting from Andrew Painter? Trey Turner, no longer can we say, hey, he's going to get out of this funk. This looks like who he is at this point. By the way, there's too many holes on that team.
Can you stop right there with the Trey Turner thing? How many, and you could voice memo this, whatever. I want to know how people feel about Trey Turner right now.
Yeah.
This is the same guy that everybody gave the standing ovation to when he wasn't doing well. Now, where do people stand on him right now? And I mean, I could say it from like analyzing type situation. What I see from him is he swings way too hard. He's got to shorten up his swing. He's got to swing at pitches within the zone. But isn't that most of baseball right now?
Yeah.
It is pathetic. So the other day, it may have been last night, against Luzardo, there was a pitch thrown, and one of the left-handed hitters for the Toronto Blue Jays swung at a pitch, had to be 3 feet outside. What the hell is going on? Like, literally, I tried breaking this down with Ruben Amaro last night. Nobody knows what's actually happening. It's like the only thing that we could surmise, or at least I could surmise, it is a guessing game. I think baseball is now a guessing game for hitters. They're just guessing he's throwing a fastball, and if it's a breaking pitch, I look dumb and walk back to the bench. But anyways, I look at the Phillies, and I still say to myself, are they a playoff team? Answer is correct, yes. Are they going to win the division? No, I don't think so. But you know as well as I do, in baseball, you have as good of a chance as anybody once you get into the playoffs. And I look, if Christopher Sanchez can stay healthy, those are wins in the playoffs.
Are they?
If Zach Wheeler stays healthy.
But are Sanchez starts definitely wins in the playoffs?
They're as close to it as you can get with the Phillies. How's that?
That's a good point. All right, I'll accept that.
So I think Zach Wheeler same way. I love the Phillies bullpen without Sugar because that was embarrassing last night. I almost felt bad for him.
He was struggling.
I think he got to a point where he seriously had no idea what he was doing. Imagine being out on the mound and going, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, what was the score when he came in? It was like 7-1.
I don't know, but then Clement hit one to the wall against them.
Yeah, I think it was 7-1 when he came in the game.
He ended up just walking the world, and you can't do that. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I look at the Phillies, and like, all honesty, I think this is the year. If they don't do it this year, then I think it's going to be an upward climb for a long time.
I get your argument.
And my only thing about how about this? Watch this. For the Eagles, I think they're winning the division.
Yeah, so, that's why. So you feel better about the Phillies than you do the Eagles, who you are predicting to win the division.
Isn't that strange? Well, I think I still don't think the division is very good. I don't think the Cowboys are that great. Yeah. I don't think the Giants are good. And people still, there's people out there saying they're going to come in second this year. Not buying that. Not even close.
Me either.
And the Commanders are the Commanders.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to their quarterback and his health.
I mean, let's face it. If the Braves were not in the Phillies division and you put like the Baltimore Orioles in there, I think you would say Phillies are going to win the division every year.
I guess it's because you say, how can you say you feel better about a team with a lot of unknowns, talking about the Eagles? And I think it's because we've seen this story before with the Phillies. Like, just like I said to you, when you look at the Eagles, and we've seen this story before, when you have competent coordinators and Nick Sirianni as the head coach, this team's had a lot of success. With the Phillies, we've seen this story before. They've got excellent pitching.
Yeah.
Last year in the postseason, their pitching was tremendous. That wasn't why you lost.
We all know the question mark.
Right?
Will the guys show up in the postseason? The hitters.
And the problem I'm seeing on this Phillies team, like Trey Turner, and Matt Gell put this out earlier today, his 617 OPS is his worst 65-game start in his career. Like, this is no longer just Trey's having a bad start, he'll come around. No, this might be who he is now. JT Realmuto, as good as he is behind the plate, this might be who he is at the plate now.
Trey, JT is struggling. I mean, he's taken a beating. He's taken a couple off the mask in the last week. If you saw that play last night with Adolis Garcia when he hurt his arm,
yeah.
Did you see JT's legs? I know you probably didn't, because I kind of watch everything, and I saw it like 9 times, and it looked like he was going to almost like pull his groin the way he had to go after the ball.
How many times?
Probably 9 times. 9 times.
9 times. Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, Garcia threw a laser, man. It just was a little bit off.
Skip. It was a ball that's going to skip, but I don't know. I love JT. I think he's a great catcher. Even still, I think he's a great defensive catcher. But you have to know, once you're in your 30s, the swing's probably going to slow down. And he may be hitting that.
I'll tell you, like, when we say feel better about team right now, and I know we're talking more about this postseason and this coming season for the Eagles, but JT still got 3 years on that contract. Trey has how many years? 6?
Why do you think I keep saying this is the year?
It is, especially if there's a lockout.
I want you to picture Trey in 5 years.
Man, I want to picture him in 2, and I'm worried. We're going to have to take that cowbell away from you today.
Yeah, right?
I could already tell.
Oh, my gosh.
It's only 2:30. I'm already annoyed by it.
Yeah, I'm already.
You know what? Maybe we should send you back to NBC Sports Philadelphia
to be completely honest with you, I'm annoyed with both of you all the time, but I'm still here every day,
I feel like I'm at like a D3 football game right now. I'm hearing the cowbells.
Man.
Cowbells, when I was a kid, they used to bring them to hockey games all the time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that,
yeah.
The cowbells. All right, let's see what people are saying on the Twitter poll, because this is going to be the Twitter poll question and the big question of the day. As you sit here right now on June 11th, do you feel better about the Phillies or the Eagles? I think it's a fun conversation to have. I'm going with the Eagles. Ricky Bo says the Phillies. And, like, people know, you and I never do that before the show. Like, we don't ever say, hey, where are you going today? So it's interesting that we're on completely different sides of this argument today. But I want to hear from people before we check the Twitter poll. Get your voice memos in. We hear you coming up, 345 525. Send them into the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. We also have a special We Hear You that was already sent to me last night.
No,
one of our listeners.
I heard part of it.
Yes, one of our listeners wrote a custom song about A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
We're going to play that for We Hear You today. It's phenomenal. It's a banger.
I have a question for you. Taylor Swift was at the game last night. We all know.
Go.
Who were all those people with her?
They're a band. Those girls are they're called the.
All right, so you really didn't know either.
I did not know, but I looked it up. It's the Haim sisters. Haim is a Grammy-nominated American pop rock band formed in Los Angeles. They were 3 sisters. I never heard of them.
I have to start listening to different music, apparently.
I never heard of them. All right, let's see.
It wasn't Ophelia.
No. Let's check in on the Twitter poll. Now, I've said this before. Twitter is being so weird about Twitter polls. Like, the amount of votes that we used to get on these things is down across the board, no matter who's posting these Twitter polls. I think they changed the algorithm. It's not showing votes.
Yeah.
So head on over to the Unfiltered Twitter page and make sure you get your votes in. But Twitter poll's up, right?
It's up.
So even though X is having problems, X might be down. Twitter poll's never down. always up, thanks to Dr. Avi Donapel of Iron Mountain Men's Health. What we got?
Who do you feel better about right now? The Phillies or the Eagles? 64% are voting for the Eagles, 36% for the Phillies.
I'm down on the Phillies.
Yeah, me too, Vic.
Same.
I'm voting with Vic on this. I'm going with the Eagles. I'm feeling better about. But Ricky's going with the fighting Phils.
Look, I think they're both going to be good. I think this could be a double championship.
It would be great, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Come on now.
You don't know for what team.
The Phillies.
So you think the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl? Is that your prediction right now?
I'm not predicting they will. I think they have a shot. I think the Eagles have a better shot than the Phillies.
Wait. Do the Phillies have a shot to win the World Series?
Not as high of a shot as the Eagles.
What team are you most afraid of?
The Dodgers.
Did you see what happened to them last night?
Nah, what happened?
That Ryan Callahan, he's a rookie for the Pirates. First home run in his career, 3-run homer against who?
Was it Ohtani?
Shohei.
Really?
Comes up they're losing by 2, comes up with 2 runners on later in the game, 3-run homer.
I didn't see it.
They took the lead, and then they just belted the Dodgers around, believe it or not.
Too much on last night between the NBA Finals and the Phillies.
Well, you got to understand, I'm sitting there, and I have 60 TVs around, so I'm
you're at
looking
NBC.
at everything.
All right, now you just asked me about Phillies or Eagles championships. According to FanDuel Sportsbook, the Phillies right now are a plus 1,600 to win the World Series.
Okay, 16-1.
The Eagles are a plus 1,900. So I guess Vegas feels better about the Phillies, too.
So I'm correct.
Still going to be the Eagles. Eagles got a better shot.
Look, I'm not. Wait a minute. See, now you're putting me on a different pedestal. I didn't say they don't have a chance.
No, you're just saying you feel better about the Phils. I get it.
And they're in season.
All right, so as we're talking...
I think that has more to do with it than anything else. And they've erased the 10-game losing streak.
Yeah, they 28-12.
They've erased it.
Under Donnie.
Yep.
Under Donnie Baseball.
Donnie Baseball.
All right, well, since you feel better about the Phillies, let's talk about something that happened last night, because this is big. You just mentioned it earlier about Adolis Garcia. Don Mattingly gave us an update after the game. We'll play for you what Mattingly said about Adolis to Swolies, and we'll hear what options do they have to replace him. Like, that's what I really want to get into. If he misses time, is it time to hit the panic button for that outfield? We'll get to that coming up next. Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Now back to Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Your people, your profits, and your payroll are your business's greatest priorities. For payroll you can trust, visit vcshr.com.
All right, so who do you feel better about right now? As we sit here today, mandatory minicamp over for the Eagles. Phillies have an off day. Who do you feel better about, the Phillies or the Eagles? You could weigh in. Send your text to the Davis Honda text line. Send your voice memos in. We hear you coming up like we do every show at 3:45. Send them in, 610-632-0975. I want to talk about Adolis Garcia in a second, because as we're talking who you feel better about, Phillies or Eagles, it's certainly relevant if Garcia is going to miss some extended time. We'll hear what Don Mattingly said about him and get Ricky's perspective on it. But before we do, Silvana said a lot of people sent in their texts already about who they feel better about. What are people saying on the text board?
All righty, let's start with this text. Mike says, I'm concerned about the Eagles. The age on the O-line, all new offensive coaching staff are big concerns, and the NFC East division will be a lot better than last year. Eagles only went 3-3 in that division. With Phillies, they will make the playoffs, and they have legit starters that can dominate in playoffs, I think is what they mean.
Listen, they had legit starters who could dominate in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they did.
They had legit starters who could dominate in the playoffs in 2023.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But, I mean, how many years – this is going to sound like a weird question. How many years in a row do you think the offense would fail in the playoffs? Do you think it's a trend, or do you just believe that, you know what, it just kind of happened and that they could change things? Because if you say it's a trend, then I'll tell you, well, what happened in 2022?
Well, they also got no hit in the World Series that year.
They got to the World Series.
Yeah, but they lost. And they got no hit. And
you know, you are a Phillies hater.
I'm just I
He's
told
just
you.
pointing out the facts.
I'm
Is
down on the
he really?
Phillies.
When was the last time you went to a game?
Why does that matter?
I'm just curious.
When was the last time I saw you at an Eagles game?
I
Have you
went
ever
to 2 last year.
Yeah, you went on the road.
Actually, I lied.
Ricky went on the road, too. I guess I shouldn't have called him out. I have not been to a Phillies game all year. Doesn't mean I don't watch. Because you know why I don't go? Because I want to be able to watch pre- and post-game with you.
Well,
so I make sure I stay
that would
home.
be my reason for not going. Because, I mean, how could you not want to see me on post-game every night? You see me for 4 hours a day.
So I was talking to Brendan O'Neill from our sales department today. We were talking about the NBA Finals last night. And he goes, he said, I turned it off. I was watching the Phillies game, and then I fell asleep on post-game. I go, yeah, Ricky does that to you.
Oh, that was nice.
Wow, and I was just going to have a funny story because my theory about last night's game was a lot of people around here probably turned it off.
Talking about the Phillies or the NBA Finals?
The NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you, and I had a funny story. I was talking to Sean Kane this morning. That's Amy Fadul's husband. He's a producer over at NBC. He was like, yeah. He goes, woke up this morning, was talking, blah, 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 hit the snooze button, and all of a sudden I hear, no way, his son, Shawnee.
Watch the replay.
11-year-old Shawnee. No, he must have checked his phone and realized that the Knicks came all the way back.
Yeah, I turned
Big
off.
Nova fans over there.
I turned off the NBA Finals, but I kept checking on the score. And I check on the score, and it's the fourth quarter. There's like 7 minutes left. And I'm like, oh, man, they're making a run. So I watched like the last 6 minutes of the game, and it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Basically, this last 6 minutes of the game, you watched the whole game.
Yeah, that was the most important part of the game.
That's really kind of what it comes down to, especially in the NBA. A lot of action usually happens in the last 6 to 8 minutes anyways.
Yeah, you watch the last 5 minutes. That's all you need. All right, but let's bring this back to the Phillies then. Because as we're asking the question, do you feel better about the Eagles or the Phillies? They already lacked a right-handed power bat in their lineup. But it looked like Adolis Garcia was starting to turn a corner. He was swinging a good bat. He was hitting the ball hard. You saw that power, and maybe the reason they brought him here. And then last night, he goes to throw the ball home on a sac fly. He grabs under his arm. Here was Don Mattingly after the game on what's going on with Garcia.
What's your level of concern about Garcia?
I'd say a little bit. Obviously, I didn't, anytime a guy, they kind of know when they've done something. So we'll see what happens. They'll probably get some imaging tomorrow. We'll find out where, the true severity of it. I hope for the best, and we'll see what happens.
Given what he's meant for you guys defensively, how much of a blow would it be if he has to miss some time here?
Well, obviously, you lose a defender like that. It changes things a little bit. Everybody deals with, stuff all the time, so we'll have to, somebody's going to have to pick it up.
So that was Mattingly. And, not only the right-handed power in the lineup that Garcia can provide, he's an excellent outfielder in right field, and you might be without both of them. Now, you hear Mattingly there say a little bit of a concern. He'll get imaging today. Until we get an update, we don't know the full details, Ricky, but having played the game, having had shoulder issues yourself, you don't feel good today. You're worried.
No, I didn't like the look. I know when you start to feel underneath like your armpit area, that usually means something popped or something really strained. It's usually not a good sign. Back of the shoulder, you might have some tenderness or something like that. But right when he did it and he waved to the bench, and Don Mattingly felt the same way, something's wrong. If you're waving to the bench, you're like, I can't throw another ball right now. That's not a good thing. Obviously, there's an IL stint. Best case scenario would be like a strained lat or strained bicep tendon or something, or I don't even know what would be a good thing. But whenever it's in your shoulder and that's what his weapon is, that's a problem.
So now it becomes a problem because if he does miss extended time, the outfield already had its issues. Who replaces him in the outfield? Because here's who you kind of have in your system. Is it Gabriel Rincones? Is it Felix Reyes getting another shot? Do you lean more on Stuart Baroa, who they just brought here? Do you put out Otto Kemp out there? Like, what is the answer?
Otto Kemp in right field?
Well, you'd have to put him in left.
Well, I got your answer for that. No.
Yeah, you would have to put Otto Kemp in left and put Marsh in right.
It is a weird situation because the Phillies minor league system is kind of flattened out right now. You've seen what they have. They have Baroa. They have Reyes. They have, Rincones we haven't seen yet.
No. And he's doing, what was he doing in the minors? Did he just come back from injury? He hasn't had a ton of.
Does it really
AAA.
matter if he just came back or not?
No, he's back. But let me look up his stats, Rincones. And didn't he, remember we spoke to the Iron Pigs announcer right before the season, and he said the guy can't hit left-handed pitching. He's another lefty. So you would add another lefty in your lineup that can't hit left-handed pitching.
I could actually see if we could get him on.
Yeah, so right now, he's at Lehigh Valley. He's played 12 games. He's slashing 239, 345. He's got a slug of 283. I don't know, man. Is that really the answer? I have the answer. I have the answer of what they need to do. If Garcia is going to miss extended time.
One home run.
Yeah, he has no power right now. If Garcia is going to miss extended time, and I've suggested this before, desperate times, call for desperate measures. It's time to hit the panic button. Bryce Harper has to go back to right field. Bryce Harper goes back to right field. Now, what that does for you is it allows you to move Alec Boehm over to first. Edmundo Sosa becomes your everyday third baseman for now. And now Dave Dombrowski has flexibility at the trade deadline to either go out and get a first baseman or a third baseman. Because we know there's no right-handed outfielders.
Who is your bench player? Who is your infield bench player?
Well, once you make the trade, Sosa goes back to the bench.
No. I mean, when you make this move, you have to have an infield bench player.
Otto Kemp. Otto Kemp's going to have to be the guy.
Oh.
So he's going to have to be the guy that comes back to the field.
Otto Kemp, I get it. He hasn't hit when he comes up to the big leagues, but how much confidence do you have in his defense? Anywhere?
Not a lot. But this is a temporary fix until Dombrowski makes the swing at the deadline. But I think it gives him more flexibility saying, all right, instead of trying to find an outfielder with a right-handed bat or a first baseman, like you can either get a first baseman and keep Boehm at third, or you can get a third baseman and move Boehm to first. But it starts with moving Harper to right field. Now, the person who suggested this a couple of weeks ago, and he suggested it for a guy named Christian Walker, who could play first base, who's with the Astros right now, who has that power, was Jim Salisbury. Well, how ironic. Jim Salisbury will be joining us next. So not only are we going to talk to him about the idea of maybe moving Harper to right, we got to talk to him about spanking his tomatoes.
Yeah, and the Astros are only 5.5 out of first now.
I know. Remember,
see what I mean? They keep hanging on. Well, that is the problem with a lot of wild card spots, but that division's just the leader is 3 games over 500.
Well, that's what Stark said to us yesterday. We were talking about the deadline is who's even going to be sellers? Because you don't know at this point.
You will never know right now, which is why it's so hard to say, well, Christian Walker would be perfect. Don't know.
He would be, though. All right, you know what? Let's talk with our man Jim Salisbury coming up next, see if he has any updates on the Adolis Garcia front, and then if he likes the idea of moving Bryce Harper back to the outfield, because I think that's what has to be done. Keep it here, unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia.